Hello and welcome back to the Nihil channel and back to Shining and the Darkness, whatever. Captain's here, I'm here, let's go, because you're here. I was gonna remove the curses off screen, but then it's a different thing. It said it's a powerful curse. So maybe that's why? So that's a thing.
It's very ominous. Something different about that curse.
Yeah, it does seem to be. So that's why we're gonna uncurse Pyra here. And really, there's an easy way to check this. So let me make sure I push the right buttons here. Yes. Okay, let's re-equip Pyra, and then we will we'll unequip her thing and see if it counts as a different curse. Or it could be that I've just never removed it that way. It's always been that when we die, or game over or something, then... Okay, so it is the same. I just actually hadn't done that yet. So, the box is not like an extra special curse or anything.
No, and it's not always a curse.
No?
Apparently, similar to the D-Soul on level 2, we just got really, really lucky the first time. There are other functions of the Forbidden Box. I don't know if we want to try them right away, but there are other things that it can do. Some of them bad, some of them good.
Alright, here's another question I have. Can I swap out my item for another cursed item? No. Okay. That would have been interesting.
I did see in the comments you can swap items, though. I didn't read the whole set of instructions. I'm assuming it's not that difficult, but we don't have to have an empty space in our inventory to swap items.
I did see that you could just hand it to somebody and it would auto-swap them, which is another thing that it's like, you can't do that in Shining Force, so I'm a little confused why they thought that was a great idea and then got rid of it. So that's why I just assumed that you couldn't do that.
Right, of course.
So we decided today we are going to move our spawn point. So let's grab the medallion, and then we search. You retrieve 1/2 of the medallion from the fountain. Okay. So, let's go. I wouldn't mind bumpers, because it has been a week since we last recorded.
Well, you made the right call there. Turn right.
Yeah, I remember that.
End.
Okay, yeah, I'll just follow this around. I remember this floor is kind of a straight shot, I thought. Because to the left of me is a loop, yeah? Yeah?
Yes, it is and it isn't. So it's definitely a straight shot if all you're trying to do is get back to the fountain, which I know is our stated goal.
Yes.
We did miss a fair amount of this floor, so after we drop the medallion in the fountain, we want to do a bit more exploring.
I am totally good with that. Oops. I am paranoid. Also, I should talk about, I made a Discord, and I put that in an update video that I realized after the fact maybe I should have titled it with that, but there's a Discord now. So that'll be linked in the description of this video if I remember. But if not, just ask for it in the comments and I will get it to you. Or somebody else will. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. We're talking SRPG stuff. We've already talked Fire Emblem some. I've already made a wrong turn.
You asked for bumpers, not hand-holding, so
that is
just
true.
Tell me how hard you want me to hold, and then I will be happy to guide more aggressively.
I'm gonna go, like, all out. Since we've got our spawn point. I'm just gonna use a lot of MP to try and safely get us there.
I will say, we powered through floor 2 and 3 in the previous episodes on replay, so even if we do get knocked back, it won't be too bad. But I agree, let's get it right first time.
But yeah, the Discord's been fun. Captain's in there, so you can tell him what a great job he's doing. And it sounds like I'm being ironic, but I'm not. Captain really has done a great job with this. We have people asking if he does stuff on his own, and I was going to ask you, are there any plans for that? You know, you used to have a podcast. I don't know if you're wanting to do that again, or...
Sure, yeah. I guess I should plug the podcast, right? I've made reference to it a couple of times, but it feels right to give it the attention that it deserves. It's technically not mine. It belongs to Woodhouse. So for those of you who know the Woodhouse RPG channel, that also previously did a lot of Shining Force content.
Yes.
He and I did a podcast with Darklaw, the guy who created the War of the Gods mod for Shining Force 2. And so that's up on his channel. It's, I think, 6 or 7 episodes. It's a lot of work. I enjoyed it. John enjoyed it. Alex enjoyed it. But it was, you know, we were trying to do even just once every couple of weeks. But it was, we wanted to play a game. We wanted to talk about it, which meant you had to take probably, you know, 10, 15 hours every couple of weeks to play through a game, even a game you've played once or twice before, and then write a script, figure out your talking points. It was a lot of fun. But to answer your question, am I planning to do it again? I don't have any immediate plans, just given the time commitment. There's a lot of other stuff going on in life right now, and I kind of like this better because, you know, yes, it's a commitment, but it's, I don't know, it's just a little bit less structured, and so there's not as much explicit prep. Like, you know, we come in with a couple of topics and a little bit of thought, but, you know, we took the podcast very seriously, and to its credit, I think it showed, and it was really good, but it was more time than really any of us could afford.
That's also similarly why Daniel and I's Turn-by-Turn podcast is kind of on a hiatus, because it was just a lot to, you know, when we started getting into RPGs that we hadn't played before, it was like, okay, you know, you need this done by next week. Okay, how long is the game? You know, 600 hours. It's like, okay, great.
Yeah, I have a lot more admiration for the reviewers who do content weekly or even monthly. It's a lot to get through a lot of these games.
It is, and a lot of reviewers also just don't get through them. So I've got a ton of respect for those that do. Because, yeah, some of these, it can be tough. Some of these, under the best circumstances, it can be tough.
Yeah, I've talked about Persona a couple of times on here. Persona, my primary experience with that game was through the one of the episodes of the podcast, and I think I played 30 hours and got conservatively 20% of the way through the game. You know, that's a big commitment. It is. And I should mention, since it's not just called a podcast. If you look it up on YouTube, I think you can find it. It's Blow on the cartridge. The icon for it's an NES cartridge.
We can link it in the description.
You can also find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places.
We'll link it in the description. I'll let you whoops, wrong one. I'll let you pick which episode or homepage that you want linked, or playlist or whatever, and we'll throw it in there.
So this is where the path splits. We've never been any way except the right way.
Okay.
And so if our goal is to go to the fountain, we're not going to go that way, but...
Right. This is the way to the fountain.
Yeah, right. But this is also the place to come back to after we've set the medallion.
Okay. Good to know.
Now these Deathbringers, someday, if you're so inclined, are a fairly significant enemy. They're the enemy that drops the only reviving item in the game. The actual item that revives, not the one that I thought revived for 3 episodes.
I appreciate you guys telling us, and also sharing your own confusion that you're not quite sure what the herb water does either.
It sells for a decent amount of money, we know that much.
We do, but you would think it would do a little bit more than that.
I did also see, and this is something that we might do when we get back to town, you know, we've never used the rods, the fire rod or the ice rod. I think we sold them even.
Yes.
Instead of just using them for spells, because the thinking was, oh, well, it's expensive to repair them. I think I looked at it and it was like 2,000 gold to repair them. And so, you know, at the time that you get them, sure, that's a lot. But I mean, don't we get close to 2,000 per battle at this point?
We'll find out here in just a second, but I think so.
So it may be worth it. You know, the idea was those stabs are nice for battles like this when you're just trying to get through things quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might be worth it to rebuy those, but don't know. Because there's also, if they cast a low enough level of Blaze or Freeze, then it probably wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I think it's level 3.
Then it might be? Not sure. So I think it's left.
Mm-hmm.
Because Go North has worked a surprising amount. Really, it probably should be just go to the opposite edge of the map from where you start.
Easier said than done when you don't have the map all the way filled in.
Yeah.
Like you do now. How do you know which corner of the map you're in when you start? I don't know. Do they have? Does the map have edges to it?
Yes.
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
That helps.
Oh, I wanted to avoid that, but that's fine. We've got a lot of MP when we have a short goal.
Yeah, we're already over halfway to the fountain, so we got plenty of MP for that.
This is a fun mechanic too. Like, it definitely makes me feel the stakes a little bit more.
Yes, you definitely don't want to make any mistakes.
It makes things feel real important.
I'm trying to think of other games that do that. I'm sure there are some where
you have like a serious run that matters.
Yeah, I think the example I'm thinking of is probably like almost all of the Dark Souls games have some kind of a consumable item that you can use to become stronger. And so use that item because you think that you're going to be able to beat a boss or you think you're going to be able to get to the next checkpoint. But of course, if you die, you don't get that item back. And so it adds a level of stakes to each of those times that you decide to use the item. Same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Is the fountain on the next floor?
So no, it's on this floor. I don't think technically in terms of the map that this is a different floor. Like this is the same map as on the other side of the balcony.
Oh, that's awkward.
So this is still floor 4, and it's on this side of that balcony. Yes, we're still going the right way.
Let's see. Can I sleep you? No, I can't. Oh, I forgot. Against these, I do the boost.
I was gonna say, I think our best bet is to boost against this guy.
I agree. I had forgotten that's what we were doing. Yeah, let's do the big boost. Yeah, I'm a little bit sweating this, because these guys are definitely scary. Okay.
Yes.
The problem is they get double attacks sometimes, and that does a lot.
Right. And it's not even that you have to defeat them the one time, it's that they keep spawning. It's just endless at times. Like the one time we died, we fought, what, 4 in a row?
Yeah, it seems like they're just, there's a point on the floor where they spawn, and every time you pass that, you're gonna fight one.
Right.
I think another of those is coming up right here.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, sweet. I wonder what race these guys are under this. Are they ghosts? Or zombies? Based on
the name Lance Rot, does that imply that they're like a zombie of some kind? That, you know, my first reaction was it looks like Lancelot but spelt wrong, but I wonder if that's what it is. It's a play on words, and they're dead.
Oh, okay, this is just that. Okay, let me do this so I have it on the map now.
That makes sense.
Okay. So nervous.
Alright.
There's another one.
You're almost there.
Yeah. And we're just gonna boost. So we do a bunch extra. Not a great start. Yeah, because if he crits, that's pretty serious.
Yes. Now, is this the same enemy as the armored skeleton in Shining Force?
I'm gonna say yes, because in universe, like, are we gonna say no? There's just another possessed four-armed skeleton that walks around, like...
It's an interesting question.
At that point, like, what are the chances?
There is more than one type of skeleton, right? There is the skeleton that's just the two arms and that uses a weapon.
Yes.
And then the armored skeleton uses, pretty sure, a machine gun?
Okay, to the right...
is a dead end.
Yes. So I need to go left. I know I'm standing where a skeleton spawns. So I don't want to get it wrong.
Take the left.
Okay.
I'm just going to save you that trouble.
Hey! Okay. So then I use... medallion?
Yes.
Yes, you see one half of your medallion glittering in the fountain waters. Okay.
Fantastic. Okay. So now we can go back to town.
See, I knew. I remembered. Yeah, you want to go back to town and recover?
Yeah, just real quick, and then we'll go back and we'll grab a few treasures, and then we'll be done with this floor potentially forever. There's a couple things. There's one enemy on this floor that we haven't seen in a while that I'm hoping we'll see. Okay. That'll give us the last piece of equipment that I think we really want to get. But other than that, I think we can be mostly done with this floor.
All right. I also appreciate the reception to the podcasty episodes. You guys seem to really like that.
I think as long as we keep it interesting, as long as we have things to talk about, and I do have a topic for when we get back in here in level 4 in a minute.
Oh, okay. I'm curious as to what that is. Alright. Oh, right. I'm like going to the exit. We don't do that anymore. We don't believe in doors.
It is a little bit odd. It's like a total difference in philosophy.
Well, we gotta fight this guy then.
Of course.
And then we will go back down, and yeah, we'll look around. I think I remember the way back down, but we'll see.
To your point, it's mostly linear. There's not a lot of wrong ways to go between here and the balcony.
Yeah, very true. All the dead ends seem pretty short. He did get that double that time.
He did, but being at full health helps a lot.
Okay. Am I going the right way?
You are.
Yes, because
slowly but surely.
Yeah. I wish I didn't have to spend all that MP for the boost, but I do think we actually need it, and if not, we're gonna spend that much healing.
Yes, on this guy, I completely agree. If we could get a single awesome blow, it would be great, but no luck.
Nope, definitely not. I think that... I forget already. Okay, so this is the way I go, because I haven't gone the other way.
Yes. This takes you past the cell to Jessup and all the way back.
Yeah, okay. This is also the first enemy in a little while that has felt really, really serious.
Yeah, like you can't just put it on fast forward. This is not an enemy where fast forward would go well at all.
No. That is... I would skip over somebody taking immense damage and dying. Like that.
Yeah.
Pyra is earning her keep here.
Not in the ways you'd expect, though. It's great to have that secondary healer.
No.
Because normally...
That was a costly, misfire, I guess we would call it.
Someday we'll understand what causes some to just do no damage like that. I don't know what it is.
My goodness. Thank you. Just get him out of here. Alright, let's use some of Milo's MP here. Alright. While we're getting back, do you want to hit me with whatever that topic was you had in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to talk, I don't remember exactly what inspired me to bring this up, but I think what it was, I was looking at, about a year ago, I was sent this, like, one of those, I don't know, call it a Facebook, Twitter, whatever, but like, favorite games across different genres, and it made me think about, what are some of the other franchises that are really special to you? Because, you know, we all know the Shining franchise. I feel like Fire Emblem has come up, but like, what are some of the other big franchises? Like, what would you say is the franchise maybe that you've not talked about, but that you've played the most games for?
I wouldn't say it's one I've played the most games for, because it doesn't have many, but Payday 2 also has a really special place in my heart.
Like the bank heist game?
Yeah. Spent a lot of hours in that.
All right, so help me connect the dots here. How does somebody who's a big fan of Shining Force and Fire Emblem go to Payday?
Really, really interesting characters that,
Oh, pause real quick. So the Golem drops Milo's best weapon.
Okay.
Do we want to try to kill everything but one Golem and then use the Demon Staff? Because that's the best way to get an item.
Who has the...
Pyra does, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, we can go for it.
Okay. Anyway, so you're not a big fan, because my memory of Payday is it's a lot of multiplayer. So you're particular into the single player.
I didn't think about her getting tangled up and that being a problem.
It'll be fine. We'll get untangled in a minute, I'm sure.
Hopefully. Sorry, what did you say a second ago?
Payday. So it sounds like you're more of a single player person, not multiplayer. Is that right?
No. It totally depends. It's just I like kind of chill games. So, all right, there's our one.
Okay, so we can defend now.
Hero can't do that. I'll use the Orb of Truth.
All right, so Milo can defend. That's interesting. I didn't realize it was only a Milo thing.
I can have him do that.
Yeah.
There we go. She's free. Okay, so that is a way to pass Hero's turn. Sorry, I'm like focused in here for just a second. So totally I need to just wait, essentially.
With them, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Pyra goes first, so but I would just say yeah, just to be safe.
Okay. So yeah, we all get muddled.
Mm-hmm. We got plenty of health though, so hopefully as long as we don't hit ourselves in confusion fully equipped too many times.
That's fine. Okay, we'll defend. And I just need to wait, and one of his actions is him handing me a weapon?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. That's not good.
No, it's not. You can try to heal yourself, but I don't know that it will work.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I don't think it will work, but...
No, I don't think so.
I don't know how long this lasts. Or if it has an end. Okay, well...
Well, we tried. Someday. That is the one enemy that we want to try to get equipment from. Because he has the best weapon for Milo. I think you could do it for other enemies, but if you only wanted to do it for one, that's the one.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. I also won't forget that some people are naked. Yep, he threw his weapon down. And then we got Pyra.
It's interesting that she can't take off the curse weapon. I would have assumed that, you know, taking off clothing was everything.
I always pictured it, like, stuck to their hand, kind of like the One Ring, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's got, like, a little bit of a mind of its own.
Yeah, makes me think of the gems. Well, potentially the gems from Shining Force 2. I know there's a little bit of controversy. Oh, controversy is not the right word. Dispute of the text says it's fused to his neck, but like people are always just assuming it's on like a necklace that just won't come off. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but, kind of cursed in a way.
I'm infused to his neck.
I mean, that's what it says. I completely agree with you.
But really, whatever the Japanese says is the true answer, and I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so back to Payday. I feel like I'm being left in suspense here. Tell me more about this bank heist game and what makes it so special.
So, for those of you who don't know what that is, Payday is like Captain said, it's a game about bank heists. What do I want to say about that? But it's also, like, so much more. You have to, I mean, eventually the storyline has you, like, stealing nukes and stuff. It gets wild.
But it's not just Grand Theft Auto with people in clown masks, right?
No. There's no open world or anything. You decide, which level you're gonna do beforehand, like which mission, and it'll party you up with 3 other people. And you all work together to achieve the objective. It's really, really cool. And really the reason that I think I got into it is there are just really interesting dynamic characters. They're just really full of personality. And you see that fleshed out in really small ways, kind of like a Fire Emblem. So, this way to get to the spinner?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it gets fleshed out kind of in just interactions with each other. All the events were really fun, and something that I think also that they did that was really smart was they did a lot of catch-up events. Like, because there's a lot of people look at the game and see how much DLC there is and get really freaked out, and I don't blame you, because there's like 100 things of DLC or something. But the way I've always explained it to people I want to get into the game is that, like, it's sort of like having a subscription that you don't have to pay every month, and if you get behind, they do bundles that's like $20 and you get everything and catch back up.
Oh, interesting. So like every DLC basically includes the previous DLC?
It doesn't, but they put them all on sale on Steam, like in a bundle that is like $20, and so they'll just keep doing that. So if you buy it not on sale, it's like $2 or $3 per DLC, which, with how many there are, is a lot. So that's... Oh. I didn't even know we could do that. Get into a fight like that. But yeah, just don't buy it not on sale. Just buy the whole bundle and catch back up. And they just announced Payday 3 as well at Summer Games Fest, so I'm super excited to see what changes they've made based on that.
What about Payday 1? I don't ever hear about Payday 1. Is it like Street Fighter, where people really only ever played starting with the second game?
Yeah, essentially. One was, like... They put a lot of 1's missions into 2, so that, I think, helped trivialize 1 pretty quickly. And 1 also just kind of felt like a tech demo for 2. I started with 2, and then I went back and played 1, and, it just feels a little bit clunkier, not quite as good, so, like, I didn't have a strong desire to go back and play 1 a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But it really just worked itself, too. The story was just always evolving, and they were willing to include pretty weird off-the-wall choices, like, John Wick is part of the universe now, and, like, you can play as John Wick in the game from those movies. Point Break got things in it. There was a movie called Hardcore Henry from a couple years ago that got a character in. It ended up being kind of like a Smash Bros. Of a certain genre or flavor of action movie. I'm gonna start by going down.
In terms of genre, what is the genre that it most closely aligns to? Like, if you like this kind of genre, you'll like Payday.
You know, I don't really know. PvE, team-based, blah-de-blah.
Okay.
Because a lot of people come in and try to play it as just a first-person shooter, and if you do that, it's just not going to go very well for you. I really wish we weren't attacking the sleeping one.
Yeah, me too.
Because yeah, if you don't focus on like objectives and stuff, you're toast. Like your team is gonna resent you, and you're just not gonna do well. Oh,
But at least he's still asleep.
that's
an
really
interesting mechanic.
weird. Actually, I think I want Hero to get rid of them because these guys hit a lot harder than I realized. I wish I had an AoE that was a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, I think Blaze 4 is definitely the cheapest.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so there's only 2 games. They just put out a phone game, though I don't really care about that. So I'm like, yeah, it's not one I've played like a ton of games of because they don't exist, but it's one I've spent, you know, a lot of time on. Do you have any like that?
Games I spent a lot of time on. Well, I mean, yes, the obvious one there for me is Diablo 2, and specifically Diablo 2 with the expansion. Though I did play the original without the expansion a number of times as well. I've not played the new one, and I think we talked about that on a previous episode.
Yes, we have.
I'm just not a big fan of Activision Blizzard and what they're up to these days. But I mean, from 2000, call it 4 to 2006 or whatever that period of time was. Oh my goodness, I can't count the number of hours I must have spent playing that game.
For sure.
Online, ladder, no ladder, regular mode, nightmare, hell mode. I used to be a guide writer for Diablo 2. I was one of the guide writers for Diablo 2.
Really?
I wouldn't say I was very good, but I was very prolific. So I had a lot of them. It was just like, you know, how to put builds together. And I was a kid in high school, and I would just sit there and I would do, you know, what you might call today theory crafting. And I would just say, well, what if I did this? And what if I did this? And so I'd go and I'd build it in single player. I'd test it out, and then I'd take it to the online. And if it was good enough that I could get through something in the highest difficulty, then I'd write a guide about it. But yeah, I think that's probably the one-off games. That's the one for me.
I see. So what possessed you to like start writing guides and stuff?
That's an interesting question. I think the right answer is it's so, like most people in the earlier mid-2000s, when I say I wrote guides, what I mean is I was a contributor for GameFAQs, which I currently have up on my screen as I'm looking at the map for Shining in the Darkness, so still relevant even today. But it started with, you know, in the early 2000s, there was a very active board community, message board community. And a lot of the message board community was people asking questions, and it was people asking the same questions. And so I think it really just came down to when you answer the same question over and over and over again, the person in me that wants to be helpful says, well, I could just write a guide, and from now on, everybody can just look at the guide and not need to ask the question anymore. Of course, that doesn't work. Not nobody. A lot of people won't read the guides even if you write them, but it does help. And so I think that's where it started. I think it started with people, you know, the question people would always ask on the Diablo 2 board would be, I want to play a build that's going to work all the way through to the end of the game, because one of the challenges with Diablo 2 is that there's a lot of kind of peaks and valleys where things get easier and then they get harder for certain types of characters. And so it can be frustrating. A character that's really good at the high levels is bad at the low levels. It's not fun to play because you have to get to those high levels first. And unless you know how to sort of skip the low levels, which is, you know, you have to do all kinds of stuff with other people online to get your character power leveled up fast. You know, just, yeah, it's not fun. So that was sort of what inspired it. Was let's start with what are the most popular builds that people would do if they were trying to play through the entire game without having to switch characters. And so in Diablo 2, there are really 2, or at least there were. One was the Necromancer. The Necromancer can raise bodies from the dead, and it turns out that when you've got 15 people surrounding you to absorb the damage, you can last a really, really long time. And then the other one's I guess it's Sorceress. I was going to say Mage, but I don't think Mage is right. I think it's Sorceress. And Sorceress just has so many different tools at her disposal that it's really easy to get through because there's very, very few things in the game that are immune to everything.
Oh, that's not good.
I think we'll be okay. I think they're mostly asleep.
I've seen people talking about, too, that as we sort of move things more to Discord, a lot of those forums, you know, are still really important, but we're moving kind of culturally what used to be in forums to Discord. Which maybe is not so good, because Discords are a lot harder to search, and they end up getting closed, and then all that information just isn't there anymore.
It's true. GameFAQs as a particular example, their boards, they started archiving, I was going to say recently, but it's probably been 15 years. But they originally didn't archive, and they started to archive. And you're right, it's really nice that I can go in, and if I have a question, I can still search for an answer that somebody gave 10 years ago, and it's still there.
Oh, yeah. Because to me, it's felt like the point of all this is, and by all this I mean, like, the internet, at least in part, has been to kind of collect human knowledge and compile it in easy to sift through ways.
Yes,
so.
And one of the most interesting evolutions to me in terms of game knowledge sharing has been the shift away from guides and towards wikis. Because, I mean, you can still get guides today, but, like, most of the really big games have wikis instead. And the advantage of a wiki...
Okay.
The advantage of a wiki is that when the first person finds a mimic in a treasure chest, they can put it on the wiki and then everybody sees it. They don't have to write an entire 500-page guide in order to tell the whole world about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna increase our attack, because I haven't seen this before.
No, this is definitely a first.
Wow, we do not much with that increased attack. Okay. He didn't have much health either. Okay, let me see. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Yeah, I think I want to heal Milo a little bit. Alright. Oops. It's been a while since I've had to deal with stuff coming out of chests at me, so...
Yeah. And...
was that Frost Armor?
It was, and that's for Hero, of course.
Okay. Do we want to use that?
It is better than what he's using. I don't know how much better.
Okay, so probably. And then we pick what to shift. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you guys for telling me that. And then, because we did that, and it's not a pain, we can compare. So we've got 249 armor. That takes us to 264. That's pretty big.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, her sleep just doesn't cost much, so it feels like I should just always go for it, but...
I would agree, as long as it works on at least
as an opener.
You didn't hear, but it does seem like it's worth it. But back to wikis, the challenge of the wiki, I have absolutely no problem with crowdsourcing information.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to get what you want sometimes. Like you talk about, it's hard to search on Discord. It's hard to search on a wiki. Like, I know that you can go into the search bar, but like, sometimes you go and type something in the search bar and when you end up with is 50 pages and you have to click into each one of them to find out what you need. And
yes,
I don't know, I do kind of miss the days, and I know it's a much bigger time commitment, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who put in the time, but if it's all in one guide, then I'll find it if I just Control F and just search down. It's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I actually have the opposite problem with wikis too, that if I am on a wiki looking for something, often I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking for. And so it's frustrating when I have a typo and I'm like one letter off and then I get no results. And I'm like, huh. is what I'm looking for, like, not really a thing, or, like, what, you know... I'm not quite sure what my problem is. Because there's no suggestion or anything.
Right.
Well, that was lucky.
So, Hero got twice as much boost out of that as he normally does. I've been wondering about that for a few episodes now, but haven't wanted to test it. Boost 1 does give more attack than Boost 2.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Heal ring. Okay, that seems nifty. I can guess what that does.
Yes, that's a very good guess. And on that note, since Pyrus seems to be running a little bit low on MP, we really ought to try out that magic ring for totally unrelated reasons.
Okay. We will do that momentarily. What a whiff. Your whip bounces off and tangles you up instead. It's not magic. It is item. Use. Okay. So that's the heal ring. You have the magic ring. I'm assuming I've got to give that to Pyra, maybe.
She has one, so now she has 2.
Well, if it doesn't do anything when Hero uses it. Ah, okay.
And of course, like any item, it can crack, so we just gotta keep an eye out for that. This is how we traverse through this labyrinth at a little bit greater speed.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
We sort of forgot to check on those things, because I know we picked up a few rings in that one episode. So we have a heal ring, we have
a barrier ring,
and we have a magic ring. We'll save you the trouble. You can guess what barrier ring does. What barrier ring does that you may not immediately guess, whomever is holding it gets a defense bonus. So by holding on to the barrier ring, you can give your character just an innate bonus to everyday defense.
Okay, good. So I think Hero has it now, and I'm good with that.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, there was a spell that was cast earlier this episode where it did like 30 to Hero and like 50 to Pyra and Milo. I was thinking, I don't know why that is, but it was probably the barrier ring.
Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Let's give it to Milo this time.
Yes, I agree.
Because he goes first, so if we could not take damage... Yeah, perfect.
Fantastic.
So those are not too scary. Okay. Allegedly.
Yes. So we are nearly done. I'm going to go ahead and just say there's one more place. It's the last place you've not been on the turn, on the spinner. And then I think we'll be pretty much exhausted in terms of what we need to see on this floor. Unless we want to go back and try and find that golem again for the demon staff.
I think we'll probably just see it on our way, and if we don't, then we don't need it. That's kind of my thought.
Works for me.
I didn't want to move off of wikis, by the way, without first saying the Monopoly 2 that kind of was developed with that.
Yes. Yes, I completely agree. And with it being a Monopoly, it's also very, very user unfriendly. Like, I don't know what the name of the company is that owns all the wikis, but they all have... Fandom. I say they all have that same really obnoxious setup of ads where you can't really even look at the page before you've closed 2 or 3 pop-ups. I feel like I'm back in the 90s.
I do as well. It's really frustrating, especially with mobile, because it's trying to load so many ads that, like, it's completely unusable on mobile for me.
Yes. Yeah, and the worst are, and the wikis do this on my phone, where you try to click on a page, and as you go to click on it, the ad finishes loading, and you click on the ad instead. And the number of times I've done that, I've lost count.
I'm sure it's by design.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, okay, this is what you're talking about. Or was there a second wheel?
This is the second one. We did one earlier.
Okay, so I need to go down this one or the other one?
This is the right turn. Go down this way.
Okay. This is what you wanted me to find, an ambush.
Yes. Haha, cleverly fell into my trap.
Let's see. I will just keep sleeping.
I will say, I don't mean to just entirely poo-poo on wikis. I actually am very much a big fan of the crowdsourced way of doing things
Oh,
because
same.
done well, it brings a community together, and that's really cool. And the example that I think is sort of the best one of it done right is like a game like Dark Souls or any of the From Software games where they are an impenetrable mess, but like kind of like playing the game where you sort of have to brute force your way through just fighting an enemy over and over again. The community kind of brute forces their way through all the lore and makes it make sense on the wiki. And
Make sure you're staying close enough to your microphone.
oh, thank you. It's challenging to find what you want on the wiki, but if you know where to look, everything's there.
Yeah, for sure. I like wikis too, because it's also a good place. Like, I'm weird in that, like, I'll just, if I'm getting really into something, I'll just go read the wiki for a while and see what kind of weird stuff I can stumble into that I had no idea about. Do I want to go up?
That's an interesting question. Do you want to go up? I mean, you can. If you go up, there is something up there. That's not the reason we're here, but other than the potential dangers of being...
We'll do it on the way back.
Okay. So other than the dangers of the enemies, I guess it's worth the trip.
There we go. If it's not the reason we're here, let's do the reason we're here first. Oh.
Ooh,
Okay. Are these guys less scary at this point? That is a question I have. I do not know the answer. I don't know what that does. I don't remember.
my guess would be paralyzed. But I don't
That
know,
is my
stunned.
fear.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good fear to have.
Because we've seen my luck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, they're not too scary still. Oh, okay. I was about to be like, there's nothing here.
That's right. There's nothing here. I'm really glad that the game gives you that subtle hint. Like it's nice that it's not super obvious, but if you're paying attention, you're never gonna miss it.
Right, right. It's also still weird to me that this is still the same enemy. It feels like they ran out of data.
You know, they might have. It's incredible how efficient they get with the space on these games.
Yes. Alright, what do we got? Light Blade. Oh, is this part of the Shining set or whatever?
The Arms of Light. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I said. The Arms of Light. Yeah, it's kind of an odd moniker. 292 to 332. Wow. That is not a small upgrade for him. Okay, let's go back. I want to see how much he does now. I mean, he's just going to be our boss killer.
I hope so, especially with that boost. Yeah, it'll add up.
Do you know if boost... Okay, yeah, he just hits 125. Do you know if boost is, like, percentage-based in this?
I do not, but if you want to go into your character, like if you go into Milo's character sheet again, what did you say was 332? Okay, so that's 124. How much attack does Hero have?
Let me pull that up.
So I'm pretty sure it just doubles their attack. I'm pretty sure he's been getting 180-ish, and Milo's been getting 124-ish, and that's their attack without a weapon equipped.
Okay. So
I don't know that, but if we boost Milo and he gets 124, then we'll know for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just thinking...
It is percentage. It's the easiest percentage ever.
Instead of casting Sleep every time for 6, if I'm worried about an enemy, the 9 to give Milo that might be the better expenditure.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and so his best weapon is an even better version of this one, and as a result of that, the boosts are just that much more powerful.
I see. Yeah, so we definitely should grab that if we can.
We can.
One step.
At least he's not a tough enemy.
No, definitely not. Some other things too, you were talking about, it's hard to get what you need from a wiki sometimes. And I know I've talked about the Shining Force wiki before and how it's, I appreciate what's been done, but it definitely leaves a lot to be desired still. For almost any Shining asset, I have to go get it myself, which is a little bit frustrating sometimes.
What kind of asset?
If I need somebody's portrait, I need to go find either gameplay that I've recorded or gameplay that somebody else has recorded where I can snag that portrait.
Next time you should just go to the community. And now that you have a Discord, you can just ask on the Discord. I promise all of us can get you a portrait a whole lot faster than that.
Maybe, but it's also about, like, I don't want to bother people.
Sure. Well, and there are actually, it's interesting, there's some very good resources for sprites and portraits specifically. So there are websites that are dedicated to just all of those battle sprites, all of the map sprites, and all of the portrait sprites for Shining Force 1, 2, and CD. Because I've definitely used those resources before.
Okay, I just need to be made aware of what those are. But also, maybe we should get those up on the wiki at some point, because that's the kind of thing I would expect to find there.
That's a fair point, you know, and for all the guide writing that I used to do, I've never ever contributed to a wiki. I've only ever consumed.
I've barely contributed to wikis. Okay. This is something. Alright, yeah, we've not been to this floor yet.
No. I'm surprised the music didn't change. I'm not complaining, it's great music, but you'd think with a floor that looks like this,
yeah,
that it would look or sound very different too.
I agree. Almost like an Egyptian kind of thing.
Could you say it's ancient?
Oh, maybe.
Would you be surprised to hear this is one of the top floors?
I would not be surprised looking at this. Okay, so those are called dragon fires now. Okay. Oh, we're getting a lot of EXP, huh? Because Pyra just leveled. Oh, well. I'm assuming we're gonna egress here in a minute.
Yeah, it's a pretty short passageway. You can go further, but well, maybe you can. I think you can, but there's also a chest up here, so like that's what we're going for.
Yeah, so far it's been when we go up a rope, we don't. It doesn't go too far typically.
Right.
How much do they do? 40. Okay, as long as that's not 40 to the party, I'm actually not quite as scared.
I was gonna say, my guess is that it's the spells that they use, because the dragons on the previous floor only did like 5 damage to the regular attack, but they had like a $30 AoE, so I'm scared of when that happens.
Yeah, these seem to not, like, their color swap version as well, seems to not actually use those spells too often.
Right.
Oh, it's the Chimera from Shining Force 1. Sorta.
It's weirdly adorable.
Yeah, it's red. And yeah, very cute. Chameleon?
Oh yeah, chameleon. That's what it is.
Is that what we're doing? I'm a little bit confused by that.
First it was cute hydras, now it's cute chameleons. Easy chameleons, wow.
Yeah? I did not think things on the top floor would be this simple. Since repairing is not as expensive at this point, I'm content to just keep doing this. Okay, I'm alternating between them on purpose. Oh, okay, hey. Hey, Mithril, okay. Yeah, we gotta discard something here. So, our options are pretty limited. We can discard the old armor that Hero used.
Mm-hmm.
Or his old sword. His old armor, I'm betting, doesn't have another use, but I'm thinking his sword probably does.
Yes, his sword, you can cast magic with it, like the old fire blade. Not that we've ever really done that, but you definitely can.
Okay, at this point, I'm content with what we did. And I'm good to just walk out of here. We'll egress, but I'm kind of... Let's see how we're doing on time. We're almost out of time anyway, so we'll do a couple more battles and just... Oh, okay. Just get some EXP.
Sounds good.
I'm kind of surprised the rings didn't break on me with the luck I've been having, but maybe that's the payback. Yeah, Hero just hits like a truck.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's no good.
No, very not good.
I'm just gonna have her start fixing Milo. He did like 114 or something, so now Milo won't die. Okay, we're good anyway.
For the amount of damage that he did, not a lot of XP.
No. Because this is an older enemy. It was a boss, but we've definitely seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do this for Hero. What is... Okay, I'm not good with quick math. What is the more optimal thing if we're only gonna do one? Okay, it's definitely Milo.
I mean, it's about this. Oh yeah, no, it is definitely Milo. So it's about the same, but no, it's not. It was Milo got an extra 70 damage per hit.
Yes.
And Hero got like an extra 90. So like he gets more per hit, but Milo hits twice.
Yes. Okay, I need... Oh yeah, it's Detox too. There we go. Okay. Then we can heal up. And I think we do one more battle before we call it.
Alright.
I really like the walls in here, it's neat. Okay. Death Pause. What is it with cute little dogs? Like...
I wonder what kind of magic they're gonna use.
I don't know, I'm attempting to not find out. I'm wondering why there's so many cute dog enemies, like...
I mean, how many ugly dog enemies are there?
Oh no.
Truly.
I'm just wondering who was in the office that was like, I'm modeling cute dogs, and it's like, okay, we need more enemies? No. Just cute dogs.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm a big fan. Are you a dog person or are you a cat person?
Oh, I'm very much a dog person, but that is also why I'm complaining. I don't want to kill them.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. You know a game is really serious when the dog dies. Even a movie, too.
Oh, yeah. I know some people that won't watch movies if the dog dies.
Yeah.
I know there's a website for that called, like, Does the Dog Die? That is just for those people.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, there's a couple of movies that come to mind where it's implied that the dog dies, but you don't actually know, and I wonder how people feel about those.
Probably in its own category on the website, like ambiguous or something.
Yeah. I vote that we start next week's episode with this discussion about animals in film.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about that for a little bit. I've definitely got something in mind. So... come back to see what I'm laughing about next time. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And next time I think we'll also start venturing higher up into the tower. See you then.